Good evening. So we want to look at this problem. Said if f of x equals to e, this e stands for exponential, raised to the power of 5x plus this over this. Then we're asked to estimate f of 0. Now, a problem like this is a problem on what they call function. Is a functional problem. Yes, this is a functional problem. And for any functional problem, if we have f of p is equals to y, that is to say, this is the image and this is the output. This P is always known as the image, while the Y is known as the output. So it's important to know this. This P stands for the image and the Y is always for the output. So in this problem, we are looking for the output of this image. That is, we are looking for the output of this image, and the image here is 0. And to find the output, we need a definition, and this is our definition. So there are 3 key terms in problems like this. First, the image. Secondly, the output. And finally, the definition. The definition. Again, the problem says if f of x equals to this, we have to find f of 0. This f of 0 is known as the image. The value this f of 0 is going to give us is known as the output. Why the f of 0, the value of the f of 0 can be found from this, which we call the definition. So moving on, so f of 0 will be equals to, since f of x is equals to this, we're looking for f of 0. Now look at this functional equation. It is explicitly defined. Again, this functional equation is explicitly defined. That is, it does not have any recursive relation in terms of f of anything other than x. This is what I mean. So for instance, let me write it here. This is an explicitly this is an explicitly functional equation. Now, an example of an implicit functional equation is when we have something like this. When we have f of x plus 3f of 1 minus x is equals to 3x. This is an implicit functional equation because it has a recursive relation of f of 1 minus x. An example of explicit is something like this, where we only have the f of x terms. Another one is if you have f of x equals to 3x squared plus 2x. This is an explicit functional equation. But if you have something like this is an implicit functional equation. For this problem, the functional equation type we have here is an explicit functional equation. Now moving on, we have f of 0 is equals to e. So what this means is anywhere I say I will substitute the value of x for 0. Again, I will substitute the value of x for 0. So moving on, we have e raised to the power of 5 open bracket 0 plus 3e 2 open bracket 0 plus 3e minus 3 open bracket 0 over e 2 open bracket x is what? X is 0. Now moving on, we have f of 0 is equals to e 5 times 0 will give us 0 plus 3e 2 times 0 is 0. In fact, anything times 0 is always 0 plus 3e minus 3 times 0 is still 0. You don't say minus 0 over e to the power of 0. Can you see that? So moving on, we have f of 0 is equals to, and anything raised to the power of 0 is always 1. Anything raised to the power of 0 is always what? 1. So e to the power of 0 is 1 plus 3 open bracket e to the power of 0, 1 plus 3 open bracket e to the power of 0 is what? 1 over 1. Can you see that? So moving further, we have f of 0 is equals to 1 plus 3 times 1, going to give us 3, plus 3 times 1, 3 over what? 1. And this is equals to 1 plus 3, that is 4. 4 plus 3, that is 7. That is 7 over 1. So f of 0 is equals to 7 divided by 1. And 7 divided by 1 is 7. So f of 0 is 7. So as simple as that. I hope you understood this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.